Maureen Mueni equally joins us in studio. Thank you so much for your time. She's a teacher and an education analyst. Welcome, karibu.
Thank you.
Asante sana. So you guys have seen the story recapping the day one of the KCSE exam. Yes. And perhaps you can start with reflecting the day one. We saw a couple of issues around exam malpractice. Mueni, as you also had your thought on the cases of irregularities that have been noted, though they were scarce, of course, they definitely raise concern, and especially since it's teachers working in cahoots with perhaps security agencies, and especially in these private examination centers, these private candidates, because Mona, one trying to impersonate the other. I haven't heard of that happening. Well, what's your take on that?
So on my take, I can say that what the boy did, it's very wrong, because the father, he was not forced to register for that exam. As much as he wanted to get into politics, but you can see the boy now is in trouble because impersonation, it's a crime. He's going to be fined or jailed for a maximum of 3 years, and at the same time, it becomes a challenge to NEC when it comes to private candidates. It's not easy to deal with private candidates because those candidates register from outside. They only come to the examination centers, and the impersonating, it's very possible because they might come with different pictures. It's just a photo that you need to register for that exam. Okay. So for me, it is very wrong, and for the people involved, an action should be taken because we want something. We want our education sector to be one of the best. We want to give the best, to produce the best to the world. So it becomes a challenge to us.
Do you think we're doing enough, perhaps, to secure examinations as we know it? Because the approach by the Ministry of Education so far, I mean, it's been a multi-sectoral approach. We've seen various government agencies involved, even various ministries. A couple of CSs have been actively participating, and we see them go to open examination containers. The approach to securing the examinations, and we know KCP is printed outside the country, KCSE is done right here. But what's your take on that briefly? Are we doing enough to secure?
I can say the ministry is doing enough to secure. At the same time, the NEC, it's also giving its very best, but it's no more. Lazima kutaingia some loopholes.
Okay. Tompkins, your take on that?
Yeah, on my side also, the ministry is doing what's supposed to do.
That the NEC boss just yesterday mentioned that perhaps the multi-agency approach that was inculcated since 2016 has sort of increased credibility to the national examination. Some of these exam malpractices do not happen at where they're picking the papers. It's now down to the school itself where they collude and perhaps leak the paper. Your take on that?
I can say it here, when it comes to the exam centers, the examination centers, we can see there are several things several activities that are happening there. But now, the exam managers, if they are not credible enough to ensure that their learners or their candidates gets the best and get what is credible, because the others are driven by maybe the directors. They want their schools to be the best. They want to be seen as the best providers when it comes to results. So it becomes a challenge. But now, talking of the guidelines that have been given to students, they are not supposed to leave the exam rooms before the paper it's over. And at the same time, before they sit for that paper, they start that paper, they are supposed to sign that the exam was sealed. Apart from that, we have the security personnel. If they are corrupt, what are we going to get? We are not going to get credible results. Because nowadays, we can say not all people are honest, others are corrupt.
Okay.
Yeah, and when it comes to the insecurity personnel, if they are corrupt, small something will be given to them.
Okay, so a lot boils down to the human resource that is working on the ground to ensure the safety of this exam, yeah?
Yeah, and when it comes to the supervisors and invigilators, they are also given something.
Okay.
They'll have to bow down.
All right.
Now, we come to integrity of the personnel, the professionalism, because the supervisors, the invigilators, they are teachers. So now it narrows down to the professionalism of the teachers themselves.
And well, that's well noted. Allow us to take a short break on that particular note. We'll be back with more discussions. We've sort of talked about the integrity of the exams. We'll take a look at the security situation, especially in the parts of the country that are affected due to banditry attacks. Stay with us. You're watching Morning Prime.